Anything that gives us a new knowledge gives us an opportunity to be more rational. By Herbert Simon. Hello, people. Today we will be covering another thinker of behavioral approach, that is Herbert Simon. So let's get started. In previous video, we have studied behavioral studies, our studies of human behavior through interdisciplinary approach, drawing knowledge from various social science disciplines. The objective of behavioral approach is to understand human behavior in the organization. After the Second World War, the behavioral approach to public administration emerged as a protest against the inadequacy and unscientific nature of traditional approaches. In the field of administrative behavior, the major studies have been on bureaucracy, human relation, motivation, and decision making. Herbert Simon's contribution has been particularly significant in the field of decision making. Now we will see the contribution of decision making given by Herbert Simon. So Herbert Simon defined decision making as the optimum rational choice between alternative course of action. Decision making pervades the entire organization, that is, decisions are made at all levels of organization. Simon was very critical of the classical approach and its advocacy of principle of administration having universal application. He challenged their universal validity and described them proverbs occurring in mutually contradictory pairs. There are some important contribution of Herbert Simon. So they are administrative behavior in 1947, fundamental research in administration in 1953, organization in 1958, and human problem solving in 1972. Not only this, because of his outstanding contribution in analyzing the decision-making process, he was awarded the Nobel Prize in 1978 also. Herbert Simon's contribution has been particularly significant in the field of decision making. His pioneering studies on decision making led him to develop a theory of bounded rationality. Simon was influenced by Follett's idea on group dynamics in organization and the human relation approach pioneered by Antonio and others. And also he was influenced by Bernard's function of executive, uh, which had positive influence on Simon's thinking about administration. So according to Simon, every decision is based upon two premises. First is factual premises and second is value premises. So the factual premises can be provided by observable and measurable means. That is, it can be tested empirically to find out its validity, and the value premises on the other hand cannot be tested empirically. It can be subjectively asserted as valid. The value premises are concerned with the choice of end of action, while the factual premises are concerned with the choice of mean of action. Simon stated that insofar as decision led to the selection to the final goal, they can be called as value judgments, and insofar as involve the implementation of such goals, they can be called as factual judgments. Now we will see the stages of decision making. So there are total three phases where decision making can be divided. First phase is called intelligence activity. So in this, it involves finding occasion for making a decision. Second is decision activity. It consists of inventing, developing, and analyzing possible course of action, that is finding alternative course of action. And third is choice activity. It involves selecting a particular course of action from a given alternative. So we can say that intelligent activity precedes design activity and design activity precedes choice activity. Means all three activities are related to each other, in which intelligence activity collect information about the issues from the environment, whereas design activity decide on the criteria by which to make a decision, and choice activity is a final activity where they apply the criteria, means the administration or the government or any bureaucracy apply the criteria to select on one out of many alternative solutions, right? Now we will talk about the classification of decision making. So the Herbert Simon has classified decision making into two, that is programmed and non-programmed. So decisions are programmed to the extent that they are repetitive and routine, so that a defined procedure has been worked out handling them, and they do not have to be treated again each time they occur. Whereas non-programmed decision, to the extent they are novel, unstructured, and consequential, they are non-cut and dried method for handling the problem because it hasn't arisen before, or because its precise nature and structure are elusive or complex, or because it is so important that it deserves a custom tailored method. Now, there is a phenomenon called Grassmann law of planning, in which Simon and March have stated that the administrator who is responsible for both routine activity and long-term planning devotes greater share of his term on routine activities. This results in either postponement or avoidance of long-term decision. This phenomena is called by them as Grassmann law of planning. It implies that routine drives out non-programmed activity. Now we will see the models of decision making. So we will talk about Simon bounded rationality model. So his model of rational decision making is also known as behavioral alternative model, because he proposed an alternative model as a more realistic alternative to the classical economic rational model. Simon viewed rationality as the selection of preferred behavioral alternative in terms of valued, whereby the consequences of behavior can be evaluated. He also distinguished various types of rationality, right? Simon believed that rationality is impossible in administrative behavior. He observed that human behavior in an organization setting is characterized by bounded rationality, leading to satisfying decision as against maximizing decision. Satisfying decision implies that a decision maker chooses an alternative which is satisfactory or good enough. Simon developed realistic model of administrative man who stand next to economic man. It means he distinguish between the, or he compare between the administrative man and economic man, where he says the behavior of an individual in an administrative situation is conditioned by organizational factors such as the extended role of the position, obligation and duties, concern of public interest, and moral and ethical responsibilities. It is therefore impractical for administrative man to maximize a choice. An economic man maximizes selected the best alternative from among all those available to him, whereas the administrative man cannot perceive all possible alternatives nor can predict all possible consequences. Instead of attempting to arrive at optimum solution, the administrative man is satisfied with good enough or somehow mudding through. Economic man deals with the real world in all its complex. Thus, the administrative man makes his choice without examining all possible alternatives, with relatively simply rule of thumb that do not make impossible demand upon his capacity of thought. Since Simon's alternative administrative man does not have the ability to maximize, he always end up with a satisfying solution. Right. This is what the Simon bounded rationality model of decision making is by the administrative man, where he more emphasizes on the administrative man rather than economic man. Right. Now we will see some criticism on Simon's decision making theory. So first is, some thinkers do not agree with Simon's view that efficiency is the most important goal of administrative organization. They point out that satisfaction of various interests, the production of goods and services, mobilizing resource, and using the most rational techniques are equally important objectives. Second, some thinkers objected that the exclusion of values which are an essential part of policy determination, would limit the study of public administration in mechanical, routine, and unimportant aspect. They are of opinion that the idea of a fact-based administrative theory of Simon is more relevant to business administration than to the public administration. Third is Simon gives much importance to the role of decision making and regards the role of social, political, economical, and cultural factors to the background in analyzing administrative behavior. Although decision making is an important variable in the organization situation, it alone is not enough to explain the total picture of an organization. And the last is Simon importance to rationality in decision making. That is the main criticism of Simon's on decision making theory. But decision making is a process which involves both rational and non-rational dimension. It means Simon only emphasizes on the rational decision making. He doesn't emphasize on non-rational dimension also. Simon fails to recognize the role of intuitions, tradition, and faith in decision making. So, in conclusion, we can say that Simon's contribution is undoubtedly a major breakthrough in the evolution of administrative theory. The decision-making theory of Simon provides a new paradigm in administrative theory. He emphasized the importance of the concept of decision-making for theories of administration to develop. Herbert Simon laid the foundation for the development of a new administrative theory. Simon's work also provides a bridge between public administration and business administration. Right. So with this is in today's video. In the next video, we will be studying another theory and another thinker. Till then, do like and share the video. Comment down below if you have any query related to this thinker or any other thinker or topic which we have done till now. That's it for today. Thank you.